is just kind of the architecture. So you have, if you can look at the bottom, there's the cameras are going into, there should be a switch there, but basically is going into our bridge. And then at that point, everything is encrypted. Then it's transmitting to our cloud. And then those devices are actually viewing the video that's in the cloud. So it's never going back into that local hardware component, the bridge or CMBR. All right. It is ideal for multiple locations, and you can have different configurations at multiple locations. As you can see on the right, I'm going to explain with the bridge and CMBR here in a second. But those say are 3 different locations with different types of cameras. The one at the bottom needs some local storage, and that could be a regulation. It could be a, maybe it's some sort of law, depending. It's in another state than the other 2. But all those are pushing to the data center. And then the business optimization with AI and analytics. As you can see here, we have these analytics built into our VMS, and I'm going to go show you what those are. But using existing camera, you can get notifications based on somebody crossing a line in the lower right-hand corner. This is, for example, a door count. They want an aggregate of people. How many people have come in? How many have gone in a retail area? Down here, we have a license plate recognition. So we can, without using a specific LPR camera, using any camera, you can get license plate recognition based on our AI and video surveillance package. So I'm going to talk about all these as well. I think that's probably, yeah, this is more cybersecurity and see, and I've talked about this as well. So I'm just going to jump into the VMS real quick so we can actually see it and see what it looks like here. And let everyone, if you can tell me if you can see my screen, Taylor, if you can, you're seeing it okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. So this is the Eagle Eye. This is our VMS. So when you log in, this is what you'll see. It navigates down the left-hand side down here. What I have it on right here is the video search. And it says beta. We acquired a company called Uncanny AI, and it was last summer. And this is where we've come into those AI tools. The idea behind this video search is a couple things. One, if you say you come into your office in the morning and you look at the video, you pull up all your video, you start here, you can see all these motion events that have occurred since you were last in here or based on the time. This eliminates the need for you to scroll through video if there was a particular incident. I can navigate to somewhere in time and click on a motion event, and it's going to identify that there was a person over in this area. So this is just a quick search. If I come in, there's a door open that shouldn't be open. I say, well, what was that? I can navigate directly to that motion event, and there's an individual right there. So that's the AI. Without having to scramble around and look, you can just navigate right to random motion events and see what's gone on at that time. Now, with the AI, there's a number of other things you can do. If, for example, you need to do a specific search. We saw some nefarious activity with somebody in a red shirt. What it's going to do, it's going to go through and identify, and it's going to cast a wide net. So it may not be bright red. It's going to cast a big net and say anyone with red. Now, keep in mind, this test environment I'm in, we have multiple companies in here. So there's different offices and businesses in here. But what it does is it finds, okay, there's that person that met that criteria. And we can see her that she's on 3 different cameras. Now, what it also does, it's not only finding by apparel, but I could say, if I was just looking at this video, I could say, okay, wait, what was this here? It will tag person in black upperwear, person in red upperwear, and white lowerwear. It also is tagging handbag. So this is these descriptions you can put in. We had a case just last week down in Chattanooga. The police had gone by a business and said, hey, yeah, we saw some guy running by, he's in a blue hoodie, and they were actually able to go in and look for that person using their video footage. So this is the power of the AI. So it's continually learning, like it's learning handbag, and then it's tagging these individuals. So if I were to click on her, and once again, this is multiple companies, then it would try and find everywhere else where that person was in the facility. If I would need to do white car, if we have some, maybe I could type in a white car, then it's going to go through any of our cameras that picked up a white car. And so that's kind of the power of the AI, and it's continually learning. We have a team that's continually adding to the content. If I need to say backpack, once again, a wide net. Sometimes it may, so it sees a backpack here, so it's going to find these people and allow you to tag them, and once again, track them through your business accordingly, or navigate to a motion event where there was that backpack on there. One thing I want to point out, inside of our the Eagle Eye VMS, you'll see throughout here a question mark. This tells you how to use every single screen that we have. So when you're looking at this, it's going to tell you what all the icons are for. It talks about the density map here, about the motion events. So there's these help features throughout our VMS that tells you exactly how to navigate if you have any questions or need anything from that perspective. All right. So, and hey, Taylor, I said I was going to take questions at the end, but I think this is because I've gone over a lot. Maybe if anyone has any questions to this point before I go to the next component, I'm happy to ask them or answer them right now.
Does anyone have any questions? You can either drop them in the chat or hop on your mic. It's fine. It's fine if not. I know it's a lot of information to take in.
Yeah, there's no questions. I can just.
Yep, I think we're good to move on.
I have a question. I just find it interesting in regards to what you just said there. It's like that it's constantly learning. Is it learning off your video management system, or is it learning from a wide range of people's video management system and then getting put into the queue of the upgraded SSAs, for instance? Or is it learning from your site and what's going on in your particular
oh, you're
site?
talking about like if it was at your business?
Yeah. Is it learning
Yes,
from that, or is it learning from everyone around the country and around the world?
Basically, it's learning from everyone because it's identifying, and now for like, yeah, it's learning from everyone, basically. The different criteria and what is what, and then we have our team goes through to identify or classify things with the descriptions, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
Ken, I do have a question. This one came in via text.
Okay.
They're asking so you just went over all kind of the AI features. Are those included with the service, or do you have to pay an extra subscription for that?
No, everything I went over is included.
Perfect.
Yeah, if you have Eagle Eye today, you have that functionality. And so that's when we talked about how we deliver, that was something that we added. So our and your customers, they logged into the VMS, it would have appeared on their menu. And it was something that we added to the VMS.
Perfect.
Yep. No install, just kind of,
it's just an automatic update that you have access to when it's released.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else before we move on? All right.
All right. Now, the next thing I'm going to go into that's similar and AI related is the video surveillance package. This is an additional, so I'll just state that right off the top. What this is, it's similar to the AI tool, and the AI tool can find vehicles. What this is doing, it's tracking all the vehicles that have come in, and then we're also using our license plate recognition to capture the license plates. So if I want to search for a plate, if I only got a partial, maybe there's an incident in a parking lot and someone said, hey, I don't know, I saw NX, those are the only characters I saw. and I type those in, it's going to find these two vehicles with those characters in their license plate. So that's one of those AI tools where it's just going through, it's viewing what it's recorded, and then it's saying, okay, we recorded these plates, it has these characters, you're looking for these characters, and it's matching them up. So that's kind of on the search portion. Now, the really strong benefits of the vehicle surveillance package, and you think about all the things going on in the world, is creating alerts. And you can do that with a license plate. So I could make an alert for a license plate. And depending on, what the configuration you have, is this person allowed on property? Maybe it's a VIP, so they're allowed on, or maybe some should be denied, or some should be on the watch list. So you can put these plates in and say, okay, I want to watch list this plate whenever it comes on to the property. Maybe an employee's been terminated, so you add their plate into your own business, just so, and you get a notification, hey, that plate's on here. Someone should get a notification. So these are really powerful. We did have a school that they would put somebody on a watch list as a ex-boyfriend stalker type of in situation, and they were able to use a watch list and get a notification if that person came on campus. Also, like I mentioned, Brevo's our sister company. There's a big conference going on right now. They're releasing this week license plate recognition as a credential. So when somebody comes to a gate, it reads the plate and it can open the gate as their credential, no different if they have a badge they're scanning at the front door. So then you could deny based on the watch list here too as well. You can deny entry. So these alerts are powerful. You can clear the alerts, and it doesn't always have to be a negative. It could be, like I said, VIP. Like maybe I'm at a country club, and our top donor and contributor to the country club is coming on premise. We want a notification. Get a notification he's here and he's going to get the white glove service. We're rolling out the red carpet. So there's a lot of alerts that you can build in, and you can just have different rules. I can put in a license plate, what location we want to know when that plate goes to a certain location, allow or watch, and then the recipient means who's getting this notification. Is a security guard? Like I said, on a VIP, maybe the concierge is getting the notification that, hey, this guy just showed up here and we need to run down there and help him out. So there's different scenarios when you need a notification based on somebody coming on premise. Unfortunately nowadays it's mostly negative, but like I said, it does not have to be negative. So that's the video surveillance package. Now, when we look at like the LPR, so the license plate recognition, I can click here. Now this is all these are, when we look at this block of time here is a motion event. Oops, my cursor is behind there. So let me go back just a second. I wanted to capture that. Oops. Okay. All right, so let's say I want to pause here. Like, okay, here's this car coming in right now. We knew the plate. We knew a couple characters. We're going to pause right here. We're going to capture this plate. What you can do, and this is related to the cloud, is I can save this clip. I can change the time on here. I can, if I need a longer clip, that's fine. I can save it. And what it's going to do, this is going to allow me to download this clip. So I've got this clip on my local device. What you can also do, and what we recommend, is archiving it. This is saving that clip to a cloud, or to the cloud. And then you can, once again, you could go in and share that in the future, but you can also have it in the cloud. Once it's in the cloud, it can stay there as long as you want it to, and it's accessible from anywhere. So I'm not restricted to it just being sending a link from my PC, whatever it may be. If with the right user permissions, you can go into the cloud and anyone can view that clip. You could share it with the authorities, whatever you need to do, but you can store that cloud for as long as you want or need to store it. So that's once again, archiving. That even works if I have an on-premise local storage device. I can still save archive footage into the cloud if necessary. So I'm gonna, once again, any questions about this VSP and the LPR analytic?
Nothing in the chat.
Okay. All right, and if anyone thinks of anything, I'm happy to answer again later, no problem. So that is the LPR analytic. Once again, you don't need a specific camera for that. I mean, so Eagle Eye, we do sell our own cameras, but you don't have to use them. We consider ourselves a VMS company. We're selling this VMS with the AI and so forth in the cloud. But we also do sell cameras. And we have a couple, if you needed a camera for LPR, we had a couple of recommendations. But once again, you can use any camera. Now, they do have to be positioned properly. It's not going to pick up somebody from a mile away, but it has to be positioned. Typically, it's some sort of choke point. And we actually will help with the configuration and layout and recommendations of where those cameras and which cameras they should be to get that optimum sort of LPR. Right. So what I'm going to jump into now, this is what we refer to as layout. So what I'm looking at when I first log in, based on my user permissions, this is how I have my cameras laid out. It does not have to be 4. It could be a different sort of grid you had laid out. You can label these. It's custom label, however you want to group them together. We also have something called tags that allows you to group things together. So if I say, okay, I want a view of all my elevators, group them in there. So there's different ways that you can organize your visualizations and how you're seeing the VMS. Let's go to, I want to talk quickly in here about the analytics. So I've mentioned analytics multiple times. Here are the analytics we have in the VMS that you can put on any camera. You can have multiple analytics on a camera. So the first one is counting. I talked about that earlier. That's just the object counting. So that's your aggregate. How many people are coming and going? Great for retail. You want to know how many people are coming and going throughout the day. Line crossing. I need to know if somebody's going in the outdoor or something. So I need to know if somebody's going in our network closet. Anything what it may be like that with this line crossing. And then intrusion detection. They're generating an alert when somebody's gone to a forbidden area. Opposite of that, you can actually say, don't detect anything in this area. So if I have a retail area and it's got a window and I don't want to see anything on the street, I can block that out so it doesn't detect that as motion. Loitering, you can set the parameters for loitering. How long is somebody in a certain area before I get this notification? We also have a two-way audio, so you could talk back and forth with somebody in a certain area. Maybe they're lost, maybe they're just hanging out. And then also tampering. If the camera is blocked or if the direction or the views change drastically, there's an analytic for the tampering. But just for a quick example, I'll do the line crossing. If I want a notification, I can just add this line crossing analytic and say, change the direction. I want a notification every time somebody goes down that hall at a certain time after 10 p.m. I need a notification for that. So that's how it's that simple to really set it up. You build the notifications down here, and then you can put in the times, and then you can also select who is receiving those notifications and when those should reset. So that's an example of line crossing. If I want to change it, I can just drag it around, change my arrow to look the other direction. Maybe it's coming out of the elevator, going in the elevator, whatever it may be. Those are an example, and it's that simple to set up these analytics. Any questions about those analytics?
Ken, I do have a question. So
Okay.
kind of related to the question that was previously asked about analytics being included. On that screen that you just had previously, it did say may incur an additional fee. by
Yeah,
turning
so-
on analytics?
correct. So the analytics, there is a fee per camera per analytic. This video search here, that's included, but the analytics,
Okay.
yeah, if you add an analytic to a camera like line crossing, there's an additional.
Okay. If you, okay. Gotcha.
Yep. Let's see. Okay. Bear missing just 1 second. Okay. So I'll take any if there's any other questions right now.
Yeah, Ken, I had one on an exterior camera. Any issues with doing the analytics on the exterior?
No issues.
And is there kind of is there a distance that you kind of shoot for that's in your wheelhouse, like if you're doing a fence line or something?
I think so the different than the LPR, like the LPR has to read that license plate, so it has to be focused, and it's it can't be super far away. Those
Yeah.
analytics, like the line crossing, that can have a different, a longer distance because it's not reading that tight criteria. Do you have like a distance in mind that you're thinking of, or?
No, it'd be
Okay.
well, like 100 feet, say.
Yeah.
Away.
I think that would probably be fine to use that analytic. It's just a matter of the angle of the camera is going to matter too, because if I draw, say, like here, and somebody walks in front of it, like because this is ideally this isn't an outdoor camera. It can't be put up much higher than the ceiling because that's what it's limited to. I was just saying if I drew my line analytic here and somebody walked across, the top of their head might go in front of it. I'd say it really depends on the positioning of the camera, but not too many limitations on that.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep. Well, and also too, one of the options you would have on that analytic is you could block anything below that. I should have said that. You could use on your motion on the camera settings, like I could ignore a section, so like I didn't get the top of that person's head. I actually got somebody crossing that line. I'll just exit here. I don't know why this is opening up. I was going to just draw the like I could say, okay, don't recognize anything in this section down here. So that would be kind of you just have to, and this is motion, this is not an analytic. This is saying just ignore this region, and then your line crossing would be here.
Okay.
So the top of somebody's head went by there, wouldn't matter.
And I guess you put that on a time of day schedule too?
Absolutely.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be if somebody wanted to know if somebody walked onto their lot, is
absolutely. Yep.
they're looking for.
Definitely. All right. So being, like I said, we are a VMS company. We released something, and it's brand new. So it's brand new to probably everyone on this call. It's something called Additions. But that's going to be something they're releasing primarily at this ISC West convention this week. But what it is there's some new features that we've put in to the VMS as of like, I mean, it kind of came out last week, but officially this week, is what we call smart layouts. This says, okay, detect a person. What this is doing, this is moving the active view up into my top quadrant here. So it's going to move these around based on these different motion events happening. Because if you have a lot of cameras set up, what would happen, and there could be motion down here that you're not going to see. And plus, I have mine side by side, so I don't have a lot of cameras showing. But this will keep moving these views around based on a person or a vehicle, and we call that the smart layout. So that detected activity, it's always keeping that foremost or most recent motion event up in the upper left hand corner. If I say, hey, I want to keep all these right here, we hit a little lock button right here, and this will lock my view. So that's that just speaks to us continually adding to the VMS, and how we can just add to the VMS without having to go and take out all your cameras every time we come out with new functionality. So it keeps it for us and for all of our dealers and all their customers. It makes it easy to scale your system, get new features and functionality without having to do these big capital investments and swap out hardware all the time. And what this is called, it's going to be called additions. A couple of other things I don't have in here. We're adding something called floor plans, where if I have a floor plan or a layout of my office or building, I can pull that up. It looks like a blueprint. I can see where the cameras are on my blueprint, and I can navigate quickly to those cameras through the floor plan. So there's different functionality. We'll have a bigger release on this. If it hasn't come out, it'll be dropping any day now for everybody. And then a couple other key features in here. One, activate responder share. What this does is initially you're going to authenticate with, say, local authorities and say, okay, you send them an email, they authenticate the email, so they're now allowed to receive these responder share. What this does, if there's an emergency event at a location, I can activate this responder share, and this is going to send the live video feed to the authorities so they can actually monitor live video while they're en route to the premises. And then once that's turned off, they lose the feed. But it allows them to, I could be a police officer, I could have my phone, be driving and watch any events unfolding right there on the phone. Any other questions about anything that we've covered?
Nothing in the chat.
Okay. All right. So for purposes of the demonstration, I was just going to leave time, at the end, open to any feedback. That's really what I wanted to go through today. Just tell you who Eagle Eye is, tell you the kind of the future of Eagle Eye. And if you were to Google Video Surveillance Day, it's going to all be about AI and cloud. And we kind of have a leg up on that because we've been doing it for a while already. And then just talk about the AI features and show those functionality and the capabilities really of it and how it's advancing, and our customers are actively using those features today. The LPR is becoming more and more popular. It's always kind of been around, but the flexibility not to have to purchase that LPR camera. Just a disclaimer, if you have an LPR camera today, it will still work with our VMS. You just don't have to use our analytic because it's built into that camera. So it's not like it becomes obsolete by any means. Just want to make that clear.
Anybody with any final questions or thoughts?
No, thank you very much. It's super cool.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. And you're talking to a great partner of ours. So yeah, if you have any questions, they can get them to me, no problem. I really appreciate everyone taking the time to sit through the demo.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Ken, thank you. And IPS customers, I will be following up with each of you individually. And so if you have any questions that you think of later today, you feel free to respond to my email and ask me. And if I don't know, I will get with Ken and we will get you an answer. And with that, I wish everyone a good rest of their day. And thanks for joining.
Thanks for the
Thank you,
invite.
everybody.
Bye.